Good evening, everybody. Excuse my 1 minute delay. So this beautiful, can you see it smoking? That is frankincense, and it smells really, really beautiful. It's gorgeous. Very, very yummy. Let's put that in there. Then I think we're ready to go. Good evening, everybody. My name, for those of you, most of you know it by now anyway, but I will still tell you, my name is Joanna Godwin-Seidl. I run Vienna Theatre Project, and I am going to be your host this evening for a reading of 1001 Nights. I'm going to bring you all a little bit closer. As I only just sorted this all out about 5 minutes ago. I'm going to do my usual and leave you with some music for a couple of minutes while I invite two groups onto the reading, and then we will get going with the reading straight away. So do enjoy this music. And actually, I can't do this. I have to put Cameo back on because it's much nicer. So let me just find the very beautiful music of Cameo, which is much nicer, look. Because it's original and it's composed by Kamyab, and he is very, very talented. He sings, he plays the guitar, he plays the piano, he conducts, and this is a song by Kamyab. So let me just get comfy. I've been working like a busy bee all day. So, that smells so good. It really does. Okay. Camera, we're going to turn you down. I will put a link up to that music once I have finished reading. I can never work out why I end up being so... Oh, there you go. I'm not fuzzy anymore. You see, I must remember to do this every evening before I start reading and clean the lens on my camera because it gets very dirty throughout the day. So, and I don't know why. So good evening, everybody. Once again, my name is Joanna Godwin-Seidl. I'm your host for tonight's reading of 1001 Nights. We are on already the 397th night, everybody. And just to remind you, and just so that you know, we're going to take a break. We don't know when. We didn't actually take a break over Easter because we thought a lot of people were stuck at home. Certainly in Austria, we have a lockdown that is now continuing and continuing, but we are going to take a couple of nights off probably next week because we need one, and we haven't had a night off since January, and it is now April. I mean, obviously we always have Saturday, Sunday and Monday off, but still we actually haven't had a whole week off yet. So at some stage very soon we're going to have a week off, and Saman is very, very busy at the moment doing another job as well. That's why she's not on so much at the moment. So just to warn you, at some stage we are going to take a week off. Don't know when it's going to be, but also to remember 21st or the 22nd of May, we are going to be doing a special reading again at the very beautiful Palais Hansen Kempinski, which is a luxury hotel here in Vienna, on Vienna's Ring, a very, very beautiful road that surrounds the whole of the inner city of Vienna. It's kind of like a ring road, and it has lots of very important buildings on it, like the palace and museums and the state opera and almost a big church. Votivkirche is a little bit back. The town halls, so lots of very important, the Parliament building as well. All these super important buildings are on the ring, and one of those buildings, there are quite a number of hotels in all the old palaces as well, and one of those buildings is the very, very beautiful Palais Hansen Kempinski, and I do recommend that if you are in Vienna and you can afford it, that you definitely stay at the Palais Hansen Kempinski, Palais Hansen Kempinski, because it is a very beautiful hotel with very lovely staff. We can highly, highly recommend it. So that'll be on the 21st or the 22nd of May. There'll be live music once again by Kamyab Sadiri and Bijan, and Saman and myself will be reading again live in a beautiful room. We'll keep you posted as to how, what, and when, and where exactly, and if there are any extras. Okay, so here we go. Now, when it was the 397th night, Scheherazade said, "It has reached me, O auspicious king, that when the youth pointed to Abu Zar and said, 'This man shall answer for me and be my bail,' Omar, Allah accept of him, said, 'O Abu Zar, dost thou hear these words? And wilt thou be surety for me the return of this youth?' He answered, well, yes, O Commander of the Faithful. I will be surety for him 3 days. So the Caliph accepted his guarantee and let the young man go. Now, when the appointed time passed and the days of grace were nearly or quite at end, yet the youth came not, the Caliph took seat in his council with the companions surrounding him, like the constellations about the moon. Abu Zar and the plaintiffs being also present, and the avengers said, 'Where is the defendant, O Abu Zar? And how shall he return, having once fled? But we will not stir from our places till thou bring him to us, that we may take of him our blood revenge.' Replied Abu Zar, 'By the truth of the all-wise king, if the 3 days of grace expire and the young man return not, I will fulfill my warranty and surrender my person to the Imam.' And added Omar, whom Allah accept, 'By the Lord, if the young man appear not, I will assuredly execute on Abu Zar that which is prescribed by the law of Al-Islam.' Thereupon the eyes of the bystanders ran over with tears. Those who looked on groaned aloud, and great was the clamour. Then the chiefs of the companions urged the plaintiffs to accept the bloodwit and deserve the thanks of the folk. But they refused and would accept nothing save the talion. However, as the folk were swaying to and fro like waves and loudly bemoaning Abu Zar, behold, up came the young Badawi, and standing before the Imam, saluted him right courteously, with sweat-beaded face and shining with a crescent's grace, and said to him, I have given the lad in charge to his mother's brothers, and have made them acquainted with all that pertaineth to his affairs, and let them into the secret of his moneys. After which I braved the heats of noon, and have kept my word as a free-born man. Thereupon the folk marvelled, seeing his good faith and loyalty in his offering himself to death with so stout a heart. And one said to him, How noble a youth art thou, and how loyal to thy word of honour and thy devour. Rejoined he, Well, are ye not convinced that when death presenteth itself, none can escape from it? And indeed, I have kept my word, that it be not said, good faith is gone from among mankind. Said Abu Zar, By Allah, O Commander of the Faithful, I became warrant for this young man without knowing to what tribe he belonged, nor had I seen him before that day. But when he returned from all who were present and singled me out, saying, This man shall answer for me and be my bail, I thought it not right to refuse him, and generosity forbade to disappoint his desire, there being no harm in compliance therewith, that it be not bruited abroad. Benevolence is gone from among mankind. Then said the two young men, O Commander of the Faithful, we forgive this youth our father's blood, seeing that he hath changed desolation into cheerfulness, that it be not said humanity is gone from among mankind. So the Caliph rejoiced in the acquittance of the youth, and his truth and good faith. Moreover, he magnified the generosity of Abu Zar, extolling it over all his companions, and approved the resolve of the two young men for its benevolence, giving them praise with thanks, and applying to their case the saying of the poet, Who doth kindness to men shall be paid again. Ne'er is kindness lost betwixt God and men. Then he offered to pay them from the treasury the bloodwit for their father, but they refused, saying, We forgave him only of our desire unto Allah, the Bountiful, the Exalted, and he who is thus intentioned followeth not his benefits with reproach or with mischief. And amongst the tales they relate is that of the Caliph Al-Maamun and the Pyramids of Egypt. It is told that the Caliph Al-Maamun, son of Harun al-Rashid, when he entered the god-guarded city of Cairo, was minded to pull down the pyramids, that he might take what was therein. But when he went about to do this, he could not succeed, albeit he was best done. He expended a mint of money in the attempt, and Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased to say her permitted say. Now, when it was the 398th night, she said, "Well, it has reached me, O auspicious king, that Al-Maamun, attempting to pull down the pyramids, expended his mint of money, but successful only in opening up a small tunnel in one of them, wherein, it is said, he found treasure to the exact amount of the monies he had spent in the works, neither more nor less. Whereat he marvelled, and taking what he found there, desisted from his determination." Now the pyramids are 3, and they are one of the wonders of the world. Nor is there on the face of earth aught like them for height and fashion and mysteries. For they are built of huge rocks, and the builders proceeding by piercing one block of stone and setting therein upright rods of iron, after which they pierced a second block of stone and lowered it upon the first. Then they poured melted lead upon the clamps and set the blocks in geometrical order till the building was complete. Now, the height of each pyramid was 100 cubits of the normal measure of the day, and it had 4 faces, each 300 cubits long from the base and thence battering upwards to a point. The ancients say that in the Western Pyramid are 30 chambers of party-coloured syenite, full of precious gems and treasures galore, and rare images and utensils and costly weapons, which are anointed with egromantic unguents, so that they may not rust till the day of resurrection. Therein also are vessels of glass, which bend and break not, containing various kinds of compound drugs and sympathetic waters. In the second pyramid are the records of the priests, written in tablets of syenite, to each priest his tablet, whereupon are engraved the wonders of his craft and his feats. And on the walls are human figures like idols, working with their hand at all manner of mechanism, and seated on stepped thrones. Moreover, to each pyramid there is a guardian treasurer, who keepeth watch over it and wardeth it to all eternity against the ravages of time and the shifts of events. And indeed, the marvels of these pyramids astound all who have sight and insight. Many are the poems that describe them. Thou shalt thereby profit no small matter, and among the rest quoth one of them, "If kings would see their high emprise preserved, 'twill be by tongues of monuments they laid. Seest not the pyramids? These 2 endure, despite what change time and chance have made." And quoth another, Look on the pyramids, and bear the twain. Recount their annals of the long gone past. Could they but speak, high marvels had they told of what time did to man, from first to last. And quoth a third, My friend, I prithee tell me, 'neath the sky, is aught with Egypt's pyramids can compare? Buildings which frighten time, all be what dwells on back of earth in fear of time must fare. If on their marvels rest my sight no more, yet there these I ever shall in memory bear. And quoth a fourth, Where is the man who built the pyramids? What was his tribe? What day? And where is his tomb? The monuments survive the men who built, a while till overthrown by touch of doom. And men also tell the tale of the thief and the merchant. There was once a thief who repented to Almighty Allah with sincere penitence. So he opened himself a shop for the sale of stuffs, where he continued to trade a while. It so chanced one day that he locked his shop and went home. And in the night there came to the bazaar an artful thief, disguised in the habit of the merchant, and pulling out keys from his sleeve, said to the watchman of the market, "Light me this wax candle." The watchman took the taper and went to light it. And Scheherazade perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. And we're going to read one more tiny story, everybody. I'm just going to double check time. Oh yes, we've got time. Yeah, we're okay. Okay. So the thief, here we go. So now, when it was the 399th night, my goodness, look how far we are already. Isn't that amazing? 400 nights already, everybody. That's absolutely phenomenal. We started, for those of you who are listening in for the first time, do feel free to look at our old videos. We started last March, on the 20th of March, 2020, at the very beginning of the very first lockdown, or towards the beginning of the first lockdown here in Vienna, in Austria. And we have been reading ever since. So you can find all of our readings here on Facebook, or if you have friends and family who are not on Facebook and you would like to share them with them, you can also go to YouTube/Vienna Theatre Project and look for the playlist 1001 Nights. And you will also find all of our readings, including the special readings which we have at special locations and with live music in those readings. You can find those also on YouTube, in case you have friends and family who don't have Facebook and they would like to listen in any time and at your own free will. They're up for everybody to enjoy and listen to. That was our gift to everybody during this pandemic. So when it was the 399th night, Scheherazade said, "It has reached me, O auspicious king, that the watchman took the taper and went to light it, whilst the thief opened the shop and lit another candle he had by him. When the watchman came back, he found him seated in the shop, account books in hand, and reckoning with his fingers. Nor did he cease to do thus till point of day, when he said to the man, 'Fetch me a camel driver and his camel to carry some goods for me.' So the man fetched him a camel, and the thief took 4 bales of stuff and gave them to the cameleer, who loaded them on his beast. Then he gave the watchman 2 dirhams and went away after the camel driver, leaving the watchman believing him to be the owner of the shop. Now, when the morning dawned proper and day broke, the merchant came and the watchman began greeting him with blessings because of the 2 dirhams. But the shop owner wondered at his words, as one not knowing what he meant. When he opened his shop, he saw the droppings of the wax and the account book lying on the floor, and looking around found 4 bales of stuffs missing. So He asked the watchman what had happened, and he told him what had passed in the night, and what had been said to the cameleer, whereupon the merchant bade him fetch the man and asked him, "Whither didst thou carry the stuff this morning?" Answered the driver, "Oh, to such and such a landing place, and I stowed them on board such and such a vessel." So the merchant, "Come with me thither." So the camel driver carried him to the landing place and said to him, "Well, this is the bark, and this be her owner." Quoth the merchant to the seaman, "Whither didst thou carry the merchant and the stuff?" Answered the boatmaster, "Oh, to such and such a place, where he fetched a camel driver, and setting the bales on the camel went his way, I know not whither." "Fetch me the cameleer who carried the goods," said the merchant. So he fetched him, and the merchant said to him, "Whither didst thou carry the bales of stuff from the ship?" To such a khan," answered he. And the merchant rejoined, "Come thither with me and show it me." So the camel man went with him to a place far distant from the shore, and showed him the khan where he had set down the stuffs, and at the same time the false merchant's magazine, which he opened and found therein his 4 bales bound up as they had been packed. The thief had laid his cloak over them. So the merchant took the cloak as well as the bales and delivered them to the camel driver, who laid them on his camel, after which he locked the magazine and went away with the cameleer. On the way, behold, he was confronted by the thief, who followed him till he had shipped the bales, when he said to him, Omar, brother, Allah have thee in his holy keeping, thou hast indeed recovered thy goods, and naught of them is lost. So, I'll give me back my cloak." The merchant laughed, and giving him back his cloak, let him go unhindered. Whereupon both went their ways. And they tell a tale of Masrur, the eunuch, and Ibn al-Karibi. The commander of the faithful, Harun al-Rashid, was exceedingly restless one night. So he said to his wazir Jafar, "I'm restless tonight, and my breast is straitened, and I know not what to do." Now, his castrato, Masrur, was standing before him, and he laughed, whereupon the Caliph said, "At whom laughest thou? Is it to make mock of me, or has madness seized thee?" Answered Masrur, "Well, nay, by Allah, O commander of the faithful." And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. So, everybody, I hope you enjoyed tonight's reading. Tomorrow, I believe, Saman, thank you very much for the hearts. We love your feedback. Please do free always to give us your feedback. Tell us what you think. Write comments below. Obviously, as we're reading always, we can't read the comments below because we're concentrating on reading. But we do try to answer them afterwards, and we enjoy likes and whatever as we're reading on and on. I am going to love you and leave you this evening. Saman, I believe, is back on tomorrow and is going to have the absolute honor and pleasure of reading to you the 400th night. So we've only got 601 pages to go after this. Can you imagine? So I think we might even beat our 2025 deadline that we thought we would have. And I believe I have to wish something very, very special today because it is the beginning. And please, if I say this wrong, I apologize now. But I did read it online today that is the beginning of Ramadan today. Is that correct? I hope I got that right. And I should say to you, and I hope I say this right, and once again, I apologize if I say it wrong. But to all my friends of the Muslim faith, Mubarak Ramadan. And I hope I said that correctly. I send you many, many blessings. All of you have a wonderful evening. Do take care of yourselves. Unfortunately, here in Vienna, just in the eastern part of Austria, so that's Vienna, Lower Austria, I think also, and potentially then Burgenland, our lockdown has been extended to the 2nd of May. And I actually really don't feel like laughing at all, but I don't know what to do anymore. So we are imprisoned at home, unfortunately, more or less until the 2nd of May. All the shops are going to be closed. There's still no theatres, there's still no restaurants, there's still no fitness centres, no swimming pools open, nothing. The only thing we can do is order food in and go to the supermarket and go for walks, and that is it. So thank goodness we are able to read for you and work on our tiny little projects at home so that we can already prepare for next season when everything opens up again, which is what Saman and I have been doing, and I have been doing rigorously for the last 2 weeks, is preparing for next season already and what comes next, because we really do sincerely hope that as of September things will be a little bit back to normal, because this is just little bit ridiculous. So, however, from my Viennese hard lockdown to all of you around the world, once again, it was an absolute pleasure reading for you. Again, I will say it, and I have to read it because otherwise I'm going to say it wrong. I have to say to you, it's either Ramadan Mubarak or Mubarak Ramadan. Somebody should give me a little voice message and tell me which is exactly the right way to say it. And everywhere it says Ramadan Mubarak. So there you go. I'm going to say oh my goodness. Ramadan Mubarak to you. Many, many blessings from me. Enjoy your evening. I will see you Thursday and Friday. I think Saman should be on with you tomorrow to have the great pleasure of reading the 400th night. Take care of yourselves. And it's a very good night from me. And a very good night from Kamiab, if I can get his music going again, because I turned it off. I'll just leave you with the music and just say goodbye.
بزن بردن جای یک زن نمیازد به می بفروش دلق ما که زین گردن نمیازد به کوی می فروشانش به جامی بر نمیگیرن زی سجاده تنها که به یک ساغر نمیازد سرزنش ها کرد که زن باب رخ متا شفتاد سر ما که خاک در نمیزد شکوه تاج سلطانی که وین جان برود جست کلاهی دلکش است اما به ته سر نیزد جاسان می نمود اول غم دریا به بوی سود غلط کردم که این توفان به صد گوهر نمیرد